Today, Tuesday, the 4th day of October 2022, is the day that the court hearing of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu took place in Umuahia Federal High Court. And of course, a lot of people have gathered in solidarity to show their support with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, IPOB and Biafra. Our people across the globe are still watching to know what the outcome will be and the things that led to this particular court's appearance that is going on today. Of course, so many people might not know why this court is holding today. Recall that in Abuja Federal High Court, the issue that they are still deliberating is the issue of 2017, whereby the Abuja Federal High Court added a lot of points that say they want to, added a lot of charges that they want to try Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, aside from what they had in 2017. As a smart lawyer, Barrister Alloy have to come down to Abia State, the Federal High Court of Umuahia, to sue the federal government of Nigeria for this extraordinary rendition that they carried out against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, which is practically IPOB and Biafra. Unless we forget our identity, this is still Nikki Bobby, where we bring you reliable news across Biafra land and beyond. Well, before we go into the updates and see what is going on today, we're gonna listen to Barrister Alloy himself to really know what today's court hearing will bring, what we'll be expecting, and how things will be. And after that, we will bring you the outcome of the court because it has been concluded, and we'll show you other things. Let's listen to Barrister Alloy Ejimako.
Well, we are here to challenge the abomination that happened in Kenya June last year to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We are here in search of justice for him. It has been a long and difficult journey from June last year, but it's our contention that if you as a nation, you are interested in trying somebody in your own cause, there's a procedure, there's a process that you must follow, and that process is called extradition. When you don't follow it, it becomes extraordinary rendition, and that's not permissible under the laws of any nation, including the laws of Federal Republic of Nigeria, laws of Kenya, where Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was encountered, and international law. So we're here to ensure that justice prevails, and we're confident that it will prevail. And as you can see, the crowd here with me, with my professional colleagues and everybody, and those that you are not capturing in the video, there is a general sense of injustice that pervades the entire society, that self-determination is not a criminal offense that should attract such aggressive countervailing measures such as the Nigerian government took against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in June last year. So we are here to test the legality of that misconduct, and I have full confidence that this court here will do justice impartially and with a full judicial confidence. Thank you.
Thank you, Barrister. Wonderful people, you've heard it. That is the reason why our people gathered here today. And of course, this court, the hearing has been gone. So let's look forward to seeing what exactly happened, how the Judge Evelyn decided, and how the reschedule happened. It's being rescheduled on the 27th day of October 2022, this same month. So let's hear what others have to say after the court.
I thank you all for being here to witness the proceedings today. My name is Alloy Ejimako. I'm a legal practitioner and a special counsel to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the indigenous people of Biafra. What we came here to do today is very serious. It's about the travesty of justice that occurred in Kenya in June last year. Somebody was asking me the definition of extraordinary rendition. I told him the closest definition or the closest synonym to it is abomination. It's an extraordinary abomination that occurred on 19 June, precisely 2021 in Kenya. You see, listen, I mean, this is very clear. We're not on a fishing expedition here. Nigeria made laws meant to be obeyed. There is one particular one that applies here, which I adumbrated in court very copiously to the Honorable Justice. That is called Article 12, Sub 4 of the African Charter on human and people's rights. When people hear of African Charter on human and people's rights, they begin to think, oh, it's an African law. No, it's a Nigerian law that was domesticated in 1983 by the National Assembly. It's just what is in a name. It's called African Charter. Article 4, Article 12, sub 4 of that charter prohibits unlawful expulsion of any African, including Nigerians, from any country in the continent of Africa. And by adoption of the laws of Federation of Nigeria in 2009, it became part of the fundamental rights of Nigerians. So when you go to a foreign country and kidnap, abduct, arrest, by whatever name you call that your misconduct, and take that individual from one country to the other without due process of law, you have violated that Article 12, sub 4. It's a fundamental right. And what is the remedy? Remedy is you release that individual, you take that individual back to where you got him from and give him the due process of law. Nobody is, challenging or impugning the authority of the federal government of Nigeria to exercise criminal jurisdiction within the territory of Nigeria. But when you leave the territory of Nigeria, you must obey not only your own law, but the laws of that country where you found yourself. So the federal government went to Kenya in June last year, and not only did it disobey its own law, the one I just pointed out right now, it disobeyed the laws of Kenya that requires federal government to knock on the doors of the judiciary of Kenya and say, hey, look, there's an individual here we consider a fugitive, and we're interested in trying this individual in our court. The Kenyan court will ask questions and they must give answers. Do you know why they didn't do that? Because they don't have a good case for extradition. Just they didn't have a good case for extradition in 1984 when they attempted to kidnap Umaru Diko. What is the difference between that of Umaru Diko and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Two differences. That of Umaru Diko was nipped in the bud. Vigilant British intelligence caught them in the act and prevented it from occurring. Second, they tried to commit it on British soil. That of Nnamdi Kanu, they succeeded and they committed it on Kenyan soil. These are the only differences. But what happened in 1984? Britain, in reaction to this attempt to illegally rendition Umaru Diko, cut diplomatic relations with Nigeria for 2 years. They arrested 17 individuals, tried them in court, convicted 4, sentenced them to imprisonment of between 4 to 6 years. And they expelled the entire Nigerian diplomatic staff in the United Kingdom and interdicted the Nigerian Airways plane, aircraft that was going to be used in the extraordinary rendition of Umaru Diko. That aircraft remains in UK today, a carcass of its old self. So the consequences of extraordinary rendition are clear. But what is lacking so far is that no court of law in Nigeria has made a judicial pronouncement on it. Everybody knows that it's illegal, but we need a court to also say so, because we don't want to take the laws into our hands. So we still trust in the capacity of the Nigerian judiciary to see injustice and address it and redress it. If Nigerian judiciary fails to redress and address this manifest injustice, it's going to put a big question mark on whether Nigeria is a democratic nation or not, ruled by rule of law, or is it rule of men and rule of brute force.
So, lead counsel, if you prevail today now, where do you go from here?
Well, if I requested for 8 reliefs. Number 1, we gotta call a spade a spade. The court gotta call it for what it is. Extraordinary rendition is not extradition. Lawyers say ubi jus, ubi remedium. Where there is injury, there is a remedy. So if the court pronounces that it's rendition and is illegal, then he deserves a remedy. And what are the remedies? 1, you restore him to Kenya if he wants, or you restore him to Britain whether he wants or not, because Britain is his second nationality. That means you gotta release him from jail. You have to release him from detention. Nothing can be built on nothing. if you don't have authority of law to arrest somebody, you should not have authority of law to detain that person. And he deserves monetary compensation. That is what the Constitution says. In Nigerian Constitution, they wrote it in black and white, that if your fundamental rights are violated, you deserve monetary compensation. So the lawyers always put it there, because the Constitution requires us to do. But sometimes I'm disappointed that members of the media will pick on that and say, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is asking for 25 billion naira for his extraordinary rendition. That 25 billion naira cannot compensate him for what he went through. What Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is asking for is justice. And that justice lies in releasing him from detention and restoring him to Kenya or United Kingdom at his own option. And then you, as Nigeria, can proceed to Kenya and UK and file a proper process. Initiate the proper extradition process or proceedings to have him returned or extradited to Nigeria. Why are you afraid of that? Because you know, under the political offense exception, which protects self-determination. Self-determination is not regarded as a crime in any nation of the world, including Nigeria, under Article 20 of Nigerian law, that's Semi-African Charter. Article 20. Now, Kenya has a companion law. United Nations has a companion law. So when you take anybody to any court in any country in the world, and you tell that court, I want him in my country because he wants Biafra, they will tell you to go to hell. You're a kidnapper extraordinary, whether you are government or not. You are a rogue. You should not try anybody in court for wanting to not to belong, for wanting a separate nation. That's how Nigeria was founded, for God's sake, in 1960. Is it not? Self-determination. That was how Midwest region was created in 1963. Is it not? That's how Nigeria lost Southern Cameroons to Cameroon. Is it not? Is it called referendum or plebiscite? And that's how Nigeria gained Adamawa, the former Southern province of Cameroons, into northern Nigeria. So why should that of Biafra be different? It's only a crime in Nigeria. IPOB is only a terrorist organization in Nigeria, but not a terrorist organization all over the world. That needs to tell you folks something. That is why Nigeria dodged and went by night, ambushed Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and kidnapped him. We cannot take a government to criminal court and jail a government, but we can call a government to answer to the civil courts of this country. There are courts in this country, so Nigerian government must answer to this court. Like I argued before the court, upon what document did you arrest Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in Kenya? And upon what document did you bring him to Nigeria? Until they have answered that question, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu remains a person that was kidnapped by state action, by the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that will not stand in law and in fact.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Exactly the point. Thank you, Barrister, for this invaluable lecture and education that you have given to all of us and those who are watching anywhere you might be watching across the globe. And we say, holy, 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 Nnamdi Kanu, Bokwano the Savior. Holy, 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 Nnamdi Kanu, he's another Savior. Let's go.
He's another Savior. Holy, 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 Nnamdi Kanu, he's another Savior. Holy, holy, holy,
Let the judge hear
Kanu, he's another Savior.
Judge said somebody
Holy, holy, Nnamdi Kanu, he's another Savior. Holy, 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 Nnamdi Kanu, he's another Savior. Holy, 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 Nnamdi Kanu, he's another Savior. Holy, 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 Nnamdi Kanu, he's another Savior.
Let me say something to those with the camera, so that they can understand. People that are looking at the video will understand why they are making this video. This video is being, made at the premises of the Federal High Court, where we have come to seek justice for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for the infamous extraordinary rendition that was visited on him in June last year, whereby he was brought from Kenya to Nigeria without due process of law. That's why we're here today. So the hearing has been done and concluded, and the decision will be rendered by the court on 27th October. The government wanted the decision, and yes, no, there's no more singing. Now, now, yes, no, it's okay, no, it's okay. Now, decision will be rendered on 27th October. He swear with us because the government wanted the decision to be done in November for whatever reason. No, I said no. So it's coming on 27th October, and I'm confident that we shall prevail. Yes, because you have here today case Mazi Nnamdi Kanu Federal High Court no my I seek justice. Maka mmebu emegburu ya last year na June. Last year ha je na Kenya je kpọrọ ya. Ọ na-abụ onye ọbụla asị na enwe ihe ome n'obodo ya. Ije obodo nke ọzọ ịhụrụ ya, iwu niile iwu ụwa niile kwuru ya na inweta onye ahụ ekpọrọ ya gaa court ajụ ajụjụ, jọji ajụ ajụjụ. Enwere ajụjụ agha jọji ga-ajụ ọsị mba na agaghị akpọrọ onye a. Bana ndị Nigeria mere otu a, ha jee zuo n'abalị ka ndị ori wejezuru ya n'ori wee nata ebe a wee sị ka ha try ya na court. Ọma mmenata ọ bụrụ na inwero authority of law ekpolo mmadụ ịma nwere authority of law ịtara ya na court. So ha chọọ ịtara Mazi Nnamdi na court, ọ ihe anyị na-ekwu akpọrọ na gị Kenya jee failizi akwa with Kenyan government ha kpọrọ jebe ha kpọrọ ma ha kpọnaga na ya Britain ọ na Kenyan government a chọrọ onwe second country. So ọ ihe anyị na-ekwu justice ka anyị chọọ, enwe ihe ọzọ ọ ihe anyị ji wee bịa tata. So ekpecha n'ikpe a difficult case. I filed it in March this year. Can bring the matter. So government emekatagi oppose. Si na ama mkpe na ụmụahịa. Na ekpe na Abuja. Na asị aga ekpe na Abuja. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu ọ bụ onye Abuja. Amụ na Mazi Nnamdi Kanu n'ala Igbo na Abia State na Faruku nga. N'ebe a ka obi 2017 September ụnụ chụpụrụ ya. Ịrapụkwa ya na Abuja nwa obi. Enwere onye ọrụ ahụ ma o nweda na ịbịakwa ebe a. Then Biafran said determination a na-ekwu arụ na Abuja ọkwa ebe a. Ka ihe mezi na mere ụnụ si ka ejebe Abuja. Kedu ihe unu debe na Abuja ahụ? Ụnụ si ka ejijewe Abuja. Nsị ha ama eme na a ga-ekpe ya hịa. Unu kpọọ m na Abuja mkpọ unu ebe a. Isi ọ dịkwa unu mma mgbe unu na-akpọ anyị oku na Abuja. A substantial place of doing business, federal government bụ na Abuja. Onye kwuru. So federal government with your authorities also na Abuja. Asị a ga-ekpe ebe a. So ka anyị malife George ga-ekwu on 27th.
Well, thank you so much, Barrister Alloy Ejimako, for all the effort you've put. You guys have really displayed enough energy in trying to make our people understand and in trying to stand for justice. Justice must prevail. This is one thing, the reason why Albert Einstein says that whomever undertakes to take himself up as a judge in the field of truth and knowledge is always shipwrecked by the laughter of the gods. This is the situation happening in Nigeria.
Since March, this year, why they don't work out. They don't work out. Say in each one place where government lawyers them say this matter will work out Abuja. I say they work out anywhere. Okay. Now here we go end up. Because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from this place where he come and the Federal High Court where the Abuja 0 days period to this one. Now the same Federal High Court when they be. Okay. So the matter don't work out. Say today. The judge don't hear the matter, saying for 27th October, we go giving judgment. So 27th October, we they come back here to receive judgment, and that they pray say the thing go day in our favor, because the thing where they do, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is no good at all. In the eyes of Nigerian law, in the eyes of Kenyan law, in the eyes of international law, and in the eyes of conscience of human beings. It's a very, very bad thing where it be. So court, must put mouth inside, talk. It's to trust. I trust the judiciary. So I'm their counsel. I cannot tell them not to trust the judiciary. I'm a lawyer, so my marketplace is here in search of justice. Until the judiciary disappoints me, I will not tell my clients to feel disappointed. Let's wait and see what happens on 27th.
We pray for them, pray for him, pray for Nnamdi Kanu,
Right.
pray for all our followers. We will all pray for him always, especially for enable land men.
Thank you.
Okay, my people, as we carry into market, you don't see how the matter waka come out the court today. Will be 4th of October 2022. For Umuahia Federal High Court, you don't see for this matter whether between Mazi and Nnamdi Kanu, we will be say IPOB, Biafra, and the federal government of Nigeria. And as we don't they carry victory, the waka they go. We believe say this victory will go Samaram reach end. As we have victory done the reach IPOB, reach Biafra, reach Mazi and Nnamdi Kanu before now. So with the press say this victory go reach to the end. And don't forget that this is Nicky Bobby channel here. We bring you reliable news across Biafra land and beyond. Of course, what are you watching? Just hit the subscribe button and join us and continue being updated as regard to the current news that is coming. We are Biafrans, of course. We always say that it is in Biafra land that all of us have our citizenship, and until Biafra is fully restored, we will not rest. May you remain safe and blessed wherever you may be, and just stay tuned as we continue bringing you more updates. Till then,